water bottles.
You can take them home.
Chantel will be proud.
Good in the back. Okay, we welcome the UCLA Bruins head coach Cori Close, IImar'I Thomas, Charisma Osborne, and Angela Dugalic. Coach, I'll have you open and we'll take questions.
Well, first of all, media, thank you all for being here. This tournament is what it is because of how it's grown and its exposure and its level of excellence. First, that credit goes to the Pac-12. They have been trailblazers in the level of excellence and equity in their Pac-12 tournament, in the conference tournament, so we thank them, but it doesn't have any juice if you all aren't bringing light to it and really telling the stories of these women. So thank you, media, for being here. It's really a business-like thing for me. We've been talking ever since last weekend about really two words, belief and character. We've earned a lot of belief. I can't give them belief, but they've earned belief in how they've handled adversity, how they've responded, how they've come together as a unit, and they need to know what they've earned, and they need to continue to believe. But character is what allows you to make the hard choices, to respond to runs, to turn difficult things into good things. And you saw a lot of that tonight. I mean, SC did a really good job. I thought they were very well prepared. It's hard to beat a team 3 times, and I thought they made some really good adjustments. And we're crosstown rivals. It's going to get chippy sometimes, but I was really proud of our sort of emotional steadiness, the way we got ourselves back. I thought we lost a little bit of composure in what makes us us in the third quarter, and we made some defensive mental errors, and we weren't controlling sort of the pace of the game and how the game was being played, and that's when USC made their run. And I thought once we got back to that and really said, hey, who are we? We had a tough offensive night. It was not a pretty win, but we have never been built on having to win based on how many shots we make or how many threes we make, and especially in the postseason, you got to be able to grind it out with defense and rebounding. And really, that's how we did it. Really proud of how Angela just continues to get better with no practices and just learning from everything. I'm very hard on Angela, and it's because I believe in her so much, and she's having to learn on the fly. She's had 3 practices since October 30th, and to have her have 12 rebounds in 19 minutes of play, and the way that she impacted the game, I'm sure she'll want to talk about her 2 threes, but I prefer to talk about her rebounds. But she's just really growing with us. And I thought these two just, with IImar'I, I thought her aggressiveness, especially in the first half, to get really quality touches, she put so much pressure on their defense. And Charisma's steadiness through a tough shooting night. That is huge. When your best top 2 scorers have ups and downs on the offensive end, but they lead you in their mentality, that's a good night.
Thank you, Coach. Lindsay here in the back.
Hi, Cori. That was a war. That was a battle. It was really physical. Lots of bodies on the ground.
Yes.
You got a really short turnaround. How will you make sure that you guys recover? Will you change anything about maybe shoot around tomorrow or anything like that? Well,
we didn't shoot around today. We'll do all walkthrough pretty much the rest of the way, and we're pretty used to that at this point. We've had a lot of practice this year of hard turnarounds and beat up bodies and short numbers. So, it's really same song, 24th verse or whatever game this is. I think at this point, nobody feels perfect. And I challenge them. It's really going to be which team can outwork each other before the ball even tips, right? And so, that's our challenge. We think we have a really good roadmap to do that. We're very proactive on that front, and so that's the choice before us. And how much work can we do mentally, right? I think at this point, experience has been such a good teacher if you've let it. And we're going to have to rely on that experience and the mentality to be able to focus, to learn a game plan through execution. I thought Coach Shannon Scout and Coach Shannon and Chancellor on our staff did a great job in preparing us today. Coach Tony and Coach So have the next one. We just have so much confidence in the way our assistant coaches and video team work together to put our players in a chance to be successful. So I really think it's a mental game at this point. I don't think there's much to change, but it's how much can we focus and concentrate.
For Angela, obviously you've been through a lot this season with the injuries and your first year with the team. But to come out like this and, a must-win game and have your best performance as a Bruin, just talk about what that means to you and your decision to come to this program and what this game means for your career.
It means a lot just because I'm really proud to wear these 4 letters across my chest. Again, as Coach Cori said, I only had 3 practices, but watching them practice all the time, and I keep trying to learn. I make a lot of mistakes, but in the end, just they get me through it, my teammates and my coaching staff. I'm really blessed to have them in my life, and I don't think it would have gone like this if I didn't have them. So, yeah, thanks.
Jeff?
I wonder if all 3 of you players could talk about a tie game going into the 4th quarter, but everything you've gone through all year and how you that translates into winning a game by 13 when you're tied going into the 4th quarter.
Yeah, I'm super proud of, whoa, that's loud. Super proud of us in the 4th quarter. I think we've been talking about it for a while. Like, in the 3rd quarter, people are going to punch back, and then we just let them keep punching. And I felt like this game, we were prepared, and we knew that we had to fight, continue to fight in the 4th quarter. And like Coach Cori said, it starts on defense and getting rebounds. So I think we just did that, and we just stayed together.
Yeah, and there's also just almost no position we haven't been in as a team. Mm-hmm. So when that happened and they went on their run, we knew that we could execute our game plan for the rest of the game, and we had each other's backs.
Yeah, and we always talk about staying neutral, so I think, especially after their run, we did that. We stayed neutral, and we kept our composure, and I think that's really what helped.
In the first quarter, you 38% shooting, 44% in the second, 58.3 for USC, and then in the 4th quarter, you guys held them to 12.5%. What was your message to them heading into the 4th quarter?
Well, I think Coach Tony really got into the huddle. I think it was the end of the 3rd and said, or maybe it was right at the beginning of the 4th, and said, look, we've been winning games and creating this momentum because we haven't been making silly errors, and we haven't been being distracted by things out of our control. And he just really challenged them to buck up mentally and quit having defensive mistakes. And I think that I think he just got their attention, and he just said, hey, learn from this and look at what's happening. Turn this around right now. No more mental errors. And they lived that out. I think I think we were really guarding them on the catch in the 3rd quarter. So they were getting all the scoring catches that they like for their rhythm. And I think in the 4th quarter, we guarded them before the catch. We made all those catches, go a further distance, make them more difficult, get a deflection, and that made all the difference in the world. And then we defensive rebounded. We got 86% of the defensive misses. We got 86% of those rebounds on the defensive end, and that's, I think, a huge point of the game.
Okay, Cori, I've wanted to ask you this all season, but any of the players could answer too. You guys post Natalie a lot. Does she secretly want to be a post in the way that a lot of posts secretly want to be point guards? Or
Yes.
I think that Natalie is just a really versatile player, and it's interesting. We're having to beg her to shoot the 3. I still think today she passed up probably 3 open looks, and she needs to let it fly. And honestly, if she would do that more, she'd actually stretch the floor more, and we'll be able to post her up more. But I think she really has. She's always liked to post. I really give her mom, who was her coach growing up, Coach Lee, a lot of credit. She was her main trainer all through that, and she really helped her become an incredibly versatile basketball player. The thing I've seen, that she's done that most of her career with us, the thing I've seen different this year is her attacks off the bounce. She's been much more aggressive to get straight line drives, get downhill, and that's been the versatility that way. And her defense has improved. Those are the 2 things I really like to see. But I don't think she necessarily wants to be a post player, but she doesn't mind posting up other guards.
She's a big guard, not a post player.
Yeah, big guard you.
Everybody on our whole team thinks they're big guards. So there's not a forward or a post player in sight. Maybe Izzy. She's might be the only one that considers herself a post player.
We'll take 2 more questions in the back, and then Jeff.
Coach, so you guys had 4 players in double figures. You could have had 6. You had one with 8 and one with 9. Early in the year, you had that small rotation. You were relying heavily on a couple of kids. What does having more depth allow you to do, instead of having to rely on just a couple of players?
Well, I mean, it's imperative. And we look at the foul trouble we had. We had Angela had 4 for a while, and then IImar'I had 4, and to be able to do that, I think, and this is not easy to do. Kayla Owens came in, I thought, in the first half and gave us some really good defensive minutes, got some, deflections, some rebounds, made some denials that were important, and I just think you need everybody to stay ready. And on any given, if you look at the history of sort of Cinderella teams, it's unexpected people stepping up. And it's every single person on your roster staying ready, even maybe through their own disappointment, even if they disagree with me. It doesn't matter because the whole focus is, what do I need to do to help our team win? And anything else is really, it's inconsequential. And so bottom line for us is, it is nice. I think it's been huge to get a few more bodies back. But they don't do any good if everyone's not locked in mentally and are totally selfless.
Cori, I had a question about Penn and what she did in the fourth quarter, because she really helped you in the fourth quarter.
Huge.
And then if you could also just comment on Oregon. The other game was that midweek game that, they jumped you right at the start and whatnot. If you could just comment a little about playing them.
Sure, absolutely. Jalen's just been a warrior for us, and what we really rely on her to be a defensive stopper, and she does that night in and night out. But she's actually, as she's come back from her hand injury, it's been hard for her to get an offensive rhythm. That's been a struggle. What I've really respected about Jalen is she's just kept at it. Her countenance never changes. She's always thinking about her next play, speed and mentality, and to me it was really nice to see her get a little rhythm. And I thought she was huge at the beginning of the game too. She was getting some downhill drives. She got us going a little bit with an attack mentality, but she's an absolute huge key for us. And with every game, I feel like she's getting a little bit more of her mojo back, and we're going to need that moving forward. But was really happy for her, and I thought it made a huge difference spreading the floor. They really wanted to take away the paint, and so when she finally hit those 2, I think one was a long 2, and then the 3, I thought that made their sort of scouting report a little tough in that fourth quarter. Oregon's a great basketball team, and it really starts with those guards, Pow Pow, and I had the opportunity to coach Pow Pow with USA Basketball this last summer, and really not only enjoyed her as a person, but really respect her as a player. And it starts with her and India Rogers, and those two really got aggressive right off the bat when we went up there, and that was the huge key. And so it's going to be really important that we need to make them have to run through more of their offense, for them not to be able to attack off the ball screen. Defense is always going to be a huge key against Oregon. And our ability to be able to play through the paint, even though they have good size and all of those things, we have to be who we are. And we were not the aggressors in the first half. And if you want a chance to get a victory versus Oregon, you better be the aggressor for 40 minutes. They're so skilled, so versatile, a lot of great players. Obviously, when they play through Sabali, she does so many good things. But we're confident in who we are. We have to play a lot better, but I think we learned some valuable lessons in that last game, and we're really excited to be able to have the chance to compete. This conference, just forces new things out of you game in and game out. And we have so much respect for every team in our conference. I had a lot of respect for USC going into this game. I know we're rivals, but you know what? We need every rising tide lifts all boats. I want basketball in Southern California to be amazing, and we need all of our battles to be like they were tonight for basketball to continue to grow. And I know Oregon. We've had some of the greatest, most epic battles in conference tournaments versus them, and so I'm excited to watch us compete against another great basketball team, and we'll see what gets brought out in us from that one.
All right, we'll wrap it up there.
All right, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.